All right, so we have so that we can log in using username and password on the server side. Now the client side is still using the normal login in, right? Which is retrieving it from the local array. So let's change the our login mechanism to use the new server side mechanism. Yes. All right. So let's go back and let's implement. Let's change the client find user by credentials to use this new URL. All right. So that we're not going to use this mechanism anymore. All right. Okay. So let's use the same mechanism that we did for find user by ID. We need to update this, and I think we changed this to be assignments. Yes? All right, so we did? No, I think assignment. Yeah, we did put it back in. So I'm going to just grab this because it's going to be very, very similar to this mechanism here, right? So we're going to refactor this, right, to go out to the server, right, and fetch a user by username and password. And so the query is going to be something like this, right? Username equal, and then you have the username, and here is an ampersand password equals password. And we're going to send that URL. Yes? Makes sense? Now, this is going to return the response.data, right? And so the controller is going to receive the actual user that we logged in with, right? And that's going to be in the login, right? So we're going to have to change the login controller. So the login controller is right here, right? And originally, it's just using .find user by credentials, right? But we need to change that to use this new asynchronous mechanism, right? This is still using the synchronous version. We need to change it so that it uses the asynchronous version, right? So let's refactor this. So we're going to do user service, the same function, find a user by credentials, same arguments, password, but this time around it's going to return a promise. Yes, right? And that promise is going to then log in the user, right? So we're going to put the logic in here in a function that receives the actual user. And this user might be null or it might be an actual user. Make sense? Right? So this logic here, the logic that used to be out here in the login function, right? I'm going to embed it inside of my login. It's going to check to see user, or maybe we could use found, right? If it's different than null, right, then we're going to navigate to user found and then the ID. Yes? Right? Otherwise, we're going to send some kind of error message. Make sense? Right? So let's see if that works. Let's go back here to let's see, to our login page. Let's go back to our login. Let's refresh. And use Bob and Bob. Right? Let's go to a network and let's see what happens in the network. Let's clear that out. Let's log in. It looks like we were able to log in with Bob, right? Notice that it went out. See that? It went out to the server and fetched Bob, right? It found it by username and password. There it is, right? It came back. It loaded the profile page, and then the profile page parsed the 234 and fetched the user by ID. You see that? So we have the login and now the profile page, both using the this new mechanism. Make sense? Everybody okay? So we can safely remove our logic here in the find user by credentials. Okay. But what about when we log in with some gibberish, right? And we don't find the user, right? And we say login, right? Notice what's happening here is that we're getting a not found, an error. See that? But it looks like our error messaging is not working very well, right? So there are two things that can happen when it comes back from the server. It can be either be a successful, a 200, right? A 200 status HTTP call, or something else, right? A 404 or 503. There's a whole bunch of statuses, right? And so we want to be able to handle those error messages coming from the server, right? So the way to handle it is before we were handling synchronously, right? Going out to our local array, and if we didn't find it, we return a null, and then we were handling it here in our logging controller, right? If we didn't find it, if it was not null, and then if it was null, we were providing an error message, correct? But now this is asynchronous, right? These messages are not going to come here, right? What's going to happen is that the then function takes two arguments. One function, the first function, is what is called the success function. If everything goes well, this is the function I'm going to call. All right? If everything goes well, this is the function I'm going to call. All right? If something goes wrong, I'm going to call this other function that you are going to tell me. Right? Or whatever you want to call it. Handle error. Right? And you can provide a function to handle the error. Okay? And in here, we can then do things such as model error user not found or something or whatever. Okay? User not found. I don't believe we have the username. Or maybe we do. Oh yeah, we do have the username here, right? So let's try that. Let's refresh. And if we have something gibberish, we log in. There it is. Username so-and-so is not found. That make sense? Right? Each one of these functions, the first function, again, is referred to as the success function, and this is the error function. Now, right now, we're not doing anything with this error from the server, but nonetheless, we can send some meta information as an error object from the server that can encapsulate all sorts of things that could have gone wrong. The database timed out, or the error, the username didn't match, or the password didn't match. We can send more specific errors. We'll do that a little later, right? But we can pass that from the server, and then we can use that object to then provide the correct error messages. Okay? Everybody good? All right. Awesome.